If you're looking for a free solution that you can use to create a website for personal or business, then you should take advantage of Google's free service called Google Sites. Google Site is easy to use and you simply drag and drop website elements on your website. This tutorial works if you have a personal Gmail account as well as if you have a Google Workspace account. In this video, I'll show you how to create a website using Google Sites. I'll show you how to add text, images, and videos, as well as how to add Google Slides and Google Forms. I'll also show you how to collaborate with others and create different versions so you can see all the edits that you have done. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I create Google and Apple application tutorials. Let's begin. Let's start by going to sites.google.com. Here you'll see all the sites that you've created. We don't have any, so it currently shows blank, but on top it tells you all the sites that you can start. You can start with a blank site or pick from the template gallery. If you scroll down, you'll see all the themes available for you. You can create one for personal, work, or small business. I'm going to create a small business website. I'm going to pick the salon and modify this to a travel website. On the top left, you'll see that it says salon. This is going to be our file name for this website. Once you add that file name, it will add that name to your website. I don't need that name here because I'm going to add a logo. So I'm going to delete this, then click the add logo button. We have two options here. You can upload or select. I'm going to upload my logo. When you click upload, it will open the files on your computer. Then select the file that you want to upload. And there's my logo. You also have an option to put an alt text. Alt text is the text that will show up if your image doesn't load. On the bottom, it picked up the color of your logo, so you can use it as a color theme for your website. If you want to use it as a color theme, click it and it will change most of your objects into that color. As you can see, my button has changed color. You also have an option to change your favicon. Click upload or select. I'm going to upload my favicon and then click open. For people that don't know, favicon is the icon on the top left of your tab. Currently, our website has Google Sites favicon. This will get updated once we publish the website. For navigation, this is our menu. Our menu is on the top right now. Select the mode to side, and this will give you the hamburger button on the top left. Viewers would have to click this in order to select a page on your website. For color option, currently it's set to transparent. Choose a white bar if you want that white bar on the top, or you can choose black to have it like that. I'm going to leave mine on transparent and on the top mode. Now let's edit the title on the banner. I'm going to highlight the whole thing and then change the title. You don't need to put one. You can simply delete it if you don't have one. On top of every text, you'll see the text formatting options. You have the title. You can change it to heading. You can also change it to subheading, normal, or small text. I'm going to leave mine on title. For font type, it's currently on Laura. It shows you all the Google fonts that you're licensed to use. Currently, you cannot upload your own font. You have to use the fonts they give you. Click more fonts to see more options. Select the fonts that you want to add to your drop-down list. You'll see it on your right. These fonts are sorted by popularity. If you click sort, you can sort it by alphabetical, date added, or trending. If you want to see a more specific font style, click show all fonts. You can choose display, handwriting, monospace, serif, and sans serif. I don't need to add any other fonts, so I'm going to cancel that. Continuing on the text menu, you can change the font size, put it on bold, italics, underline, and change the color. For every text on your web page, you can make it into a link, highlight the text, and then click insert link. You can make a link point to a specific page of your website or point to a completely different website. Hit apply once you've done that. On my case, I'm not going to do it, so I'm just going to delete that part. There's more on the text menu. You can change the alignment. Click remove if you want to delete that whole text completely. And if you click more, you'll see line spacing, indentations, strike through, or clear the text format. That's it for fonts. I'm going to delete the second line here. I don't need it. Now let's talk about the banner. If you hover over your banner, you'll see the settings that you can change. Click header type. Currently it's set to large banner. You can click cover, which gives you a bigger picture. Large banner is what we had. Click banner if you want a smaller banner, or title only if you don't want an image on your banner. I'm going to set mine on the smaller banner. Let's change the image on our banner. Click the arrow beside the cover and then click change image. And just like our logo, it gives you the upload or select an image. I've been showing you how to upload images. This time I'm going to show you how to select images. You have 5 tabs on select images. You have the gallery tab, which gives you the preloaded images that Google site offers. You have by URL, which you can reference an image from another website if you know the web link. If you click the search tab, this is where you can Google search an image. I'm going to search for travel. You can sort the results by colors by clicking one of these squares. You can also click any type to view by face, photo, clip art, or line drawing. Once you find the image that you want to use, select it and then click select button. Only images that you are licensed to use are shown here. You might find other images if you Google search outside Google Sites. Next, if you have images in your Google photo album, you can select here. I don't have any. And finally, if you have images in your Google Drive, it will be displayed here and you can select and use them. When you add an image as a background image, its default to automatically adjust for readability. This lightens or darkens the image so your texts are more readable. Sometimes it may even change your font from white to black to make it more readable. If you want to turn it off, click it and it will put your image to its natural color setting. As you can see, since my image is lighter on top, I cannot see my menu, and even my title banner is a bit unreadable. Click the adjust readability again to turn it back on. Next thing I want to show you is adding and editing a button. I have a button here already, but if you want to add a button, click insert, then select button. Name it, then point the button to a page on your website, or put a placeholder for now if you're not sure where to point it yet. You can adjust the size of a button by dragging the border, only if it's not part of any object box. This means that if it's part of an image box or text box, like this button over here, then the size of the button will depend on that text box. So if I drag this, the whole text box gets bigger as well as the button. I don't need the test button, so I'm going to delete that. To edit a button, double click the button, and then you can edit the name on that button. This is also where you can edit the link on that button. I forgot to mention that with a button, you can point it to an external website. To style a button, hover your mouse over the button and you'll see that it's default to filled style. If you click the drop down, you can choose outline as a style or text only. I'm going to put mine on the default style. You'll notice that there's no option to change the color. The color depends on your website's theme. Since we picked green as our theme, that's the color that it will change it to. You can't be more specific with your button color without changing a lot of elements on your website. But if you do want to change your color theme, click the color circle over here, select any colors here, or add your hex color. Speaking of color, if you want to add a background color on a specific section of your website, you'll notice these icons on the left. Click the color plate. You have 4 background style. You have the emphasis 1, and that puts a gray background. If you click emphasis 2, this changes your background to your color theme, but this will change the style of some elements on your website depending on what color theme you have. And the last option is putting an image background similar to our top banner. In my case, I'm going to put mine back to regular. Next, let's talk about editing and adding images. This template already has images. To edit, click the whole box and then select the image. It will show you the editing options. Click the ellipsis button to replace the image. This is the same way as adding a banner. To replace the image, you have upload and select an image. We're going to select an image. You have 4 tabs this time. You have Google Drive, by URL, by Google Image Search, or your Google Photo. I already have an image on my drive, so I'm going to select it, then click Insert. It will automatically adjust that photo size depending on your photo placeholder. If you want to crop it, click the crop option. You can zoom in and out. Select uncrop if you want to show the full length of that image. If you made a mistake when editing something on your site, click the undo button or Command Z on a Mac or Control Z on a PC. This will undo the last edit that you did. If you want to put a link on an image, click Insert Link. Then you can insert a link just like the button. And finally, if you want to remove that image, click the Remove button. This is how it looks like after editing all the images. If you do want to insert an image specifically, click Insert, Images, then Upload or Select. We're going to select an image. Then it gives you that same 4 tabs that you saw when replacing an image. If you want to create a specific section on your website, you don't need to recreate it. For example, instead of recreating this whole thing, put your mouse on the left icons, then click the duplicate button. Then you can just replace the images as well as the text. Or if you want to remove a specific section of your website, hover over the left icon and click the delete button. If you have a text under an image, double click it to select the text. You can delete that text or modify it. If you want to move that text box on top of the image, put your mouse over the 8 dots in the middle of the text box, then click and drag to the top. Be careful when you drag a text box since it sometimes can go all the way to the top of the page. But if you make a mistake, click undo instead of dragging to correct it. Editing a paragraph or a text box is pretty much the same. You select the whole thing and replace the text that's in it. Then modify the text format. If you're finding value on this tutorial so far, please help me out and click the like button. Next, I want to show you how to add a video. So click Insert. There are a few ways you can do this. If you're posting a video from Vimeo, use the embed code. Or if you have files from your Google Drive, click the Google Drive. Look for the video that you want to upload. Then click Insert. It always gives you this size. To resize it, just drag the border out. If you are using a video on your Google Drive, you need to make sure that the permission is not restricted. So go to your Google Drive, right-click your file, and then click Share. Change the permission to anyone with the link. I find that the best way to upload a video is by using an embed from Vimeo.com or a YouTube link. To add a YouTube link, go to Insert and then select YouTube. You'll see 2 tabs, one is Video Search and the other one's Uploaded. If you have your own YouTube channel, you'll see all your videos there. Or click Video Search and use one of the videos that's on YouTube. For example, I'm going to load 24-hour aquarium. Select the video and then click Select. Then resize the whole video or center it on your website. You can put multiple YouTube videos side by side if you want to. Now you'll notice on the top, this has a little bit more option. You'll see Open in New tab, Settings and Remove. If you click Settings, you'll see 3 options: Hide Controls, Progress Bar Color, and Allow Full Screen. Once you're good with those settings, click Done. Now let's edit the footer. The footer will show up on each page of your website. This is where you can add your contacts. You can also add your privacy policy, terms of use, or a disclaimer. Then select the whole thing and then put it in the center. Then to link this to a privacy policy page, I'll create a new page that will point to the privacy policy. On the top right, you'll see the Pages tab, and then look in the bottom, you'll see New Page. Click the New Page. We'll add the name. Then click Advanced if you want this page to have a different web URL other than the page name, like this. Then click Done, and it will open that new page. So since this is a privacy policy, we're not going to put a background. We're going to click the header type, and then choose Title Only. This will remove that background. Next, let's add a text. We can add a text box or a collapsible text. Let's add a collapsible text this time. I'm going to add my heading and some text placeholder for now. Then this is how it will show up. Viewers of your website would have to click the heading if they want to read the section. Toggle this if you don't want it to be collapsible. I'm going to put mine back. To add more section, instead of recreating it, click the duplicate this section and then edit that section. Once you've added a few of those, go to the Insert section and then click Table of Contents. This will now give us our table of contents for that page. On the top menu, you'll notice that there's a privacy policy there. We don't really want the privacy policy there. To remove that, go to the Pages tab. Click the privacy policy and you'll see the 3 dots on the right. Click that and then select Hide from Navigation. Now that that's gone, let's go back to our home page and link our privacy policy on our footer. Let's scroll down to the footer and then edit footer. Select the privacy policy and then on the text menu, click the insert link and then select privacy policy from the list. Hit apply. And there it is. It's now linked to our privacy policy. Next, I'm going to show you how to use image carousel. I have a new destination page over here. Then go to your insert and then click image carousel. Click the plus. And then you can select from upload or select images. If you have high quality photos, reduce the size of that image or upload the images to your Google Drive. Your images may take a while to load if your images are too big. I suggest you use Google Drive when using the image carousel. For image carousel, select all your photos and then click insert. There are a few settings you can modify in your image carousel. On the top right, you'll see the settings icon. You can make it to show dots. This shows the viewers how many photos are on there. Uncheck show captions if you don't want to put a description on each images. Then click auto start if you want the image to automatically play. Then you can adjust the transition speed if you turn on auto start. I find that this uses more resources on your computers, so I usually turn this off. Once you're good with all that settings, click insert. When you add that image carousel, it always adds it on half of the page. To resize it, click the border and then drag it to the right. If you want to go back to your settings page again or add more images, hover over your image carousel and then click the settings button. If you hover over a specific picture, you'll see the remove image or add a text. You can choose to remove it by clicking that. Or if you want to add a description, click add text and then add caption. If you want to rearrange the images to a specific order, drag and drop an image to its new position. And once you're good with that, click update. With image carousel, you can't play it while on edit mode. You'll need to click the preview button to play it. This is how the image carousel will look like. Viewers will have to click the left and right arrow to view the images. This is a good time to talk about preview mode. If you want to check how viewers will see your website on a browser, use the preview mode. You can also see how it's going to look like on a tablet as well as on a mobile phone. And as you can see, our footer is actually pretty big, though we need to make our text smaller. To exit the preview mode, click the X here, and this will put us back to edit mode. If you want to add a different section on your page, try to use some of the layouts over here. It's an easy way to add images, videos, and text, and the section is sized properly. So for example, we're going to add this layout here. Click and drag and drop it over here. Click the plus if you want to add your images or videos. Then it will look like this. You can add headings or text on the bottom or even add a button. Add the name of the button, then add a link and point it to a specific page of your website, or link it to an external website like a Etsy store. If you don't know what link to put there yet, put a placeholder there for now and then make sure you edit that later. When you add an object on your website, it always adds it right below your selected section. To move this, drag and drop it to the section where you want it. It will insert it as opposed to removing that section, so if you have extra text box, just click remove. You'll notice that the button size has gone wider. As I mentioned before, the button size always depends on the size of that particular section. So keep this in mind when deciding where to position your button. Now, instead of adding image carousel or manual images on your website, you can also add a Google slide on this. This is good if you already created a catalog or you are more familiar with Google Slide. So to insert it, click insert and then scroll down, you'll see slides. Then we'll open your Google Drive and show you all your Google Slides. I only have one, so select your Google Slide and then click insert. Then adjust the height and the width by clicking and dragging the borders. If you select your Google Slide, you'll see that there's also a settings button there, so click that. You can see that there's an auto start, which will automatically play when this page loads. And you can also add a loop playback, delay time, or make it start at specific slide. If you're adding a Google Slide or any Google Doc, make sure the permission is correct. So go to your Google Drive, right-click on your file, and then click Share. Ensure that Get Link doesn't say Restricted. If it says Restricted, click Change to Anyone with the Link, and make sure it says Anyone with the Link. As well, make sure that it only says Viewer and not Editor. This way, people can only view it and not modify your Google Slide. And once you modify this, click Done. Next thing I want to show you is embedding a code. As I mentioned earlier, you can use this to add a Vimeo.com video. Or you can also use this to put ads on your website. So go to the Insert tab and then click Embed. You can enter the URL or the actual embed code. For example, I have a Skillshare ad. I'm going to paste the embed code here and then click Next. This is how the Skillshare ad will look like. Click the pencil if you want to modify it, or click Insert if you're good with that. Then adjust the size, because every time you add an object, it always adds it half the page. Then click and drag it to reposition it. Click the preview button to view how it's going to look like. The last page I want to create is the contact page. I have a contact page that I've created. It has my contacts here, my hours of operation. The next thing I want to add is a Google map. Under the Insert tab, scroll all the way down and you'll see Map. Enter your company address. It will drop a place mark based on that address, but if you want to be more specific with your pin, click Drop a Place Mark. And then click anywhere on the map to drop the pin. Then click Select to place that map on your website. Readjust the size to the way you want it, and you can even put an emphasis on it to put a background color. Another thing you can add on this page is adding a contact form. We can do that by using Google Forms. So in the Insert tab, you see Forms over here. And if you have one already, it will show up over here. And then click Insert. I'm going to put that in the middle. And that's how it looks. If we preview that, it shows us the map and the contact page. Just like your Google Slide, one of the things you need to make sure in your Google form is the permission. So go to your Google Drive, right click on the file, click Share, and make sure it's not restricted. Change that to Anyone with the Link can edit. They won't be able to edit the whole form, but they'll be able to edit the fields on the form. You also want to edit a few settings on the form, so open your forms. Click the Settings button. If you have this checked, users will need to sign in with their Google account before being able to fill out your contact form. So uncheck that so non-Gmail users can fill out the form. Once you applied all the settings, make sure you preview your form to see how it's going to look like and to see if you can fill out certain fields. You'll notice this icon on the bottom left. This shows your viewers when your website was updated, which you can turn off. To do that, get out of the preview mode, go to Settings on the top, click Viewer Tools, and then turn off the info icon. On this settings page, you can also turn off the anchor links. This allows viewers to bookmark a specific section of your website. You also notice the Custom URL tab. This is useful if you want to use a different domain for this website as opposed to using sites.google.com. You also notice Analytics, which you can add your own Google Analytics. You just need to put your Google Analytics tracking ID here. For announcement banner, this is a good way to add announcements like sales of an item or big changes on this website. As an example, I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to put a message that says 50% off sale. Then add a label on the button. Then add a link to point it to a specific page of your website or an external website. You can also check Open in New Tab, so that way when they click that heading, it opens a new tab. And you can also check the visibility to have it on all pages or homepage only. So there's no apply button, just close that window and then scroll all the way on top. And now I'll go to my homepage and there's my Buy Now button. If you want to collaborate in creating your website, you can share this website with someone else as long as they have a Google account. Beside the settings, you'll see Share with Others icon. Add your collaborator's email over here. Then click Change. Then click the word Restricted. Change it to Anyone with a Link. Your collaborators can now edit this website with you. Since I don't have any collaborator, I'm just going to change this back to restricted and then click done. On the right side of settings, you'll see the ellipsis. If you select version history, this is a good setting to see what you and your collaborators have changed on the website. Since I don't have any collaborators, it only shows me. But if you click the drop down, then select a specific date and time, and then on the right side, click the ellipsis. You can select to restore that specific version, or click make a copy to create a duplicate of your website based on that specific date and time. Or if you just want to create a reference, click name this version. For example, I'm going to name this specific date and time as contact creation. This way, if I look at it again, I know that this is the time I created the contact page. To go back to your most recent edit, click the arrow over here. Now going back to the ellipsis over here, under version history, you'll see duplicate site. This is a good way to make a copy of your website based on the most recent edit. I think we're ready to publish. Click the publish button. This will publish your website under sites.google.com/view/whatever web address you put on this field. Enter a name under web address, and if you have a space in between your words, it will automatically put a dash as a replacement. In my case, it automatically put a dash in between CAN and international. If your website is not finished yet, or if you're not ready for search engine to crawl your website, then check this box. Under who can view my site, this should be automatically set to anyone. Unless you don't want anyone to see your website yet, then click manage, then edit the permission there. Under custom URL, this is a good way to point this website if you own a specific domain. I've created a separate video for this, so it's easy for others to just watch that particular video if they already know how to use Google Sites. Once you're good with all that settings, click publish. Even though we publish now, we can always go back and point our website to our custom domain. Once you publish your website, you'll now see a drop down beside publish, and you can click publish settings to modify that settings again. You can also select review changes before you publish your website. Although this is an automatic setting every time you hit publish. For example, I'm going to quickly edit this line here. And then when you click publish, it will show you the changes that you're about to apply on your website. Then click publish again to commit that changes. To see how your website looks like based on your viewer's point of view, click the drop down beside publish again and click view publish website. As you can see, our web address says sites.google.com. If you want to know how to buy a custom domain, click my Google Domains tutorial over here. Or if you already have a domain and want to point that to this website, click the tutorial over here. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you. Leave a comment below if you have any questions.